Hello once again, YouTube. I am Pogiforce. This is my hat, and we have today for you a deck profile. This is the Fire Water Dark deck that I ran in the finals against Gorby that you saw in earlier videos. I tweaked it a little bit since then, but it's been doing better. You'll be seeing a lot of familiar cards and maybe some interesting tech choices. So without further ado, let's get this started. We're going to be starting with the dark section, and to begin we have 3 Terra Pits and 3 Bone Blades. This is fairly standard for darkness. All of these are like the best kill spells in the game. Terra Pit just kills whatever, one creature, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And Bone Blades is the same thing, but for level 4 or lower. It used to be back before Evil Fury that we'd only run like 2 Bone Blades, but with all these new evolutions that come out, they're low in cost and they're really powerful. Bone Blades has seen a lot more use. So it's an instant 3 with Terra Pit. And then we get into our discard section. We have 1 Skull Shatter for late game, and then we've got 2 Razor Kinder Puppet. Now, unlike old Duel Masters control decks, which are probably a little more discard heavy, most of our discard cards don't really give us a lot of control when it comes to discarding. Like Fumes and Giga Stand allow your opponent to pick what's discarded. So these guys give me a little more control over what goes. If my opponent searches for their finisher with a Crystal Memory or a Gigahorn Charger, I can drop this and dig it out of their hand. Skull Shatter, if they're pulling too much, if their hand's too big, and I need to even the field a little bit. This is just a great card. I've used it once or twice. 1 is all you really need. 2 Puppets is good. Any more would probably clog the hand, but they're good at 2. Alright. Now, one of the best finishers for darkness, we got 2 Dark Scared Orbital. These guys, it's amazing that these guys only come out of a theme deck, but they can instantly change the momentum of a duel because of their ability to instantly break a shield when they come into play. Not necessarily a speed attacker, but it's still really good and can take your opponent by surprise and win you games. So we got 2 of these guys in here. They're also Chimeras, which is important because we're running 3 Hydra Medusa. Now these guys are amazing. They're Chimera evolutions. Chimera is a very versatile race in this game. At 5 mana for 5,000 power, it's even. Power cost for points, it's pretty even, which is why it's especially amazing that being a body at only 5 mana, they have the ability to banish any one creature when they come into play. They're essentially a Terra Pit with legs, as I'm sure more than one person has said, and they're just really amazing. Instant 3. Now since they're an evolution, we need more Evo Bait. So we got 2 Giga Stand, 2 Scared Orbital of Gloom Hollow, and 2 Screeching Scared Orbital. Now, these cards are all 4 mana or less. Giga Stand's really good. He's more discard if I really need to. There was one game against CVH where I dropped him turn 3, then I attacked every turn after, and he had trouble maintaining a hand, and it won me the game. Scared Orbital of Gloom Hollow is really versatile because he's a blocker that can attack, and he doesn't die when he attacks like most darkness blockers do. Plus, he can like really chump block a lot of these big finishers that are coming out of the Evo Fury set. I nearly used an old Duel Masters term there. Like he can stop Bronze Arm Sabertooth, he can stop Laser Arm Drakon, he can stop all sorts of creatures that are level 4 or less. He's a great chump block for Gila Flame and things like that. Screeching Scared Orbital is amazingly versatile, and he's great Evo Bait, and he can help you push aggressive, or it can help you maintain your field advantage. So these are all really great cards. Good Evo Bait for Hydra Medusa. I run 2 of each. I would probably run 3 of Scared Orbital of Gloom Hollow or Screeching Scared Orbital if I had room, but this deck's already pushing 44 cards, so this is a good number. There's plenty of other things in here too. And to finish off darkness, we have 1 Dark Return. Now, I had considered, what's it called, Return from the Depths or whatever it's called. That 4 mana darkness spell that lets you instantly return any level 4 creature from the discard pile to the battle zone. It's really good, especially with things like Screeching Scared Horrible, who have come into play effects. But this, in a way, is a lot more versatile at 2 less mana, and still a shield blast, because this can get me anything. There was a game in the semifinals against CVH where this card won the game for me, because I was able to go through my discard pile and dig out the big finisher that I needed to push through for game. So that's it for the darkness section. Next we've got water. Water, we're going to start with our blockers. We've got 2 Frogzuka and 3 Refi. This is fairly standard for water blockers. Refi is just a solid 2 for 3,000. Stops most of the big creatures, stops most of the all the small creatures and most of the medium mid-range creatures. It stops like Screeching Scared Horrible after it's come into play, of course. It stops Razor Kinder Puppet. It stops all kinds of things. And then Frogzuka's there to bump with the likes of Hydra Medusa and Gila-Flame and the bigger creatures that might get in your way. So this is fairly standard water blocking. Next we've got our draw. We've got our draw section ain't coming up just yet. We got 2 Veil Vortex. Just a decent trigger. If none of my other removal is forthcoming, I can always use this to stall against big finishers. Like if my opponent has a, say, Bulltail Dragon or something big in play, and I can play this for 4 mana. It's not bad at 4 mana being able to get something big off the field, and it forces them to have to replay it. Not particularly good if it's something that has a come into play effect like Screeching Scared Horrible or Hydra Medusa, but it's good against things like Bulltail Dragon. Or just like anything that might be in your way. These are good at 2. And then my draw section, fairly standard draw section. We got 3 logo scans and 3 Aqua Seneschal. I also run 1 Crystal Memory for a little bit of extra search. Logo scan is a great card. It's a +1, helps you thin out your deck and get what you really need. Aqua Seneschal is a nice aggressive card, great to have out turn 3. His ability to let you draw every time you attack with him, even if he dies as a result of his attack, is just really useful, and potentially +1, +2, +3 if your opponent doesn't have any answers to it. So these are all really good cards. This is pretty much what I use to help move through the deck, is these cards here. Crystal Memory, especially as a shield blast, is really amazing. Helps me go through, find what I need, be it Hydra Medusa or Dark Scared Horrible or whatever I might need to win me the game. So that's it for water. Darkness was 14 cards. Darkness was 20 cards. Water was 14 cards. Now we got fire. Fire is, their finishers are best known for being very fast. So we've got 2 Bulltail Dragon with their fast attack, and then we've got 1 Gila-Flame the Assaulter. Really good finisher. This was the card that I searched with to get back with Dark Return to win the game for me against CVH. Gila-Flame's a great card just because there's only so much that can answer him. Mostly things like Razor Kinder Puppet. The only way to answer him when he's out in play is a Lucky Blast like Bone Blades or something like that. But he's really good. These are really good. They win games. Fast, double breaker, 7,000 power, pretty big. There's bigger creatures out there, but he's not bad by any stretch of the term. So that's it for the fire creatures. Now we got on to fire spells, and the rest of this is all destruction. We've got 2 Tornado Flame, 2 Barrage, and 2 Heat Seekers. Now, Tornado Flame is a rare. It's been in Rise, it's been in Dojo. It's a 5 for 5 blast. Banish any creature 5,000 or less. This is good for the Hydra Medusa. It's good to get Frogzuka out of the way. It's good against Emperor Neuron. It's good against so many things, and being a blast, you can use it as a response to an attack if they break your shield. It's not always the best option, but it's really good. And then 2 Barrage, because Rush is still a thing, and being able to barrage away your opponent's field full of little guys is just a great way to come back from what would potentially be a losing situation. As a blast, it's really good. It's still decent at times played from the hand because there's a lot of evil bait now that's 2,000 power or less, like Gloom Hollow gets hit by Barrage, and Aqua Seneschal if they're playing Neuron, it gets hit by Barrage, and Gigastan gets hit by Barrage, and Barrage is just a really great card. I think I +3'd off of Barrage against CVH in the semifinals. There was just a lot of really good things that happened with this deck in the semifinals. Now, the Heat Seekers are a new thing for this deck because, as I said in my Card of the Week video, I saw this card put in a lot of work, and it's got a lot of good things it can do. It hits all the Evo bait for pretty much all of the most popular evolutions, and it's at 3 mana, so it comes out before those evolutions would hit board for the most part. It hit at 3,000 power or less. It hits like all the early game and most of the mid-range creatures, and it's a great response if your opponent drops like a Giga Stand, or Razor Hide, or an Aqua Seneschal. Turn 3, if you're going second, you play this, and you've got advantage now because they were counting on that Razor Hide or that Seneschal to at least +1 for them in most circumstances. So that's the deck. We've got 9 fire cards. So the total comes down to 44 cards. So yeah, that's the deck. Hope you enjoy. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that. Comment if you'd like to see more of this deck in action. Please let me know. I've had a lot of fun with this deck so far. It doesn't lose as often as most of my other decks have, so it's nice to go back to the classic red, blue, black, as it used to be called. Now I guess it's red, blue, purple PBR. Alright, so that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed. This is my hat. You have a good day.